He's Charles Barkley. Great season. In fact, decorated with a sports Emmy for being the best studio analyst and joining us on the show. CB, how are you?
I'm great, my brother. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Thoughts on what you saw last night? Any surprises?
No, once they got to Game 7, I thought the Heat were pretty much a lock. I was impressed with the Spurs from a psychological standpoint to be able to come back, but I didn't think they could win last night. I almost flew to Vegas, Dan, and bet everything in the world I had on the Heat last night because I thought they was going to win. I actually thought they were going to win by a bigger margin. But that tells you what a great coach Popovich is to get them guys mentally up last night. But I did. I almost took a special trip out to Vegas. You know, they'll let you bet as much as you want in person.
You would have won by 1 point, by the way.
Well, I wasn't worried. No. You know what? The line, it was a sucker line, too, because the line started out at 7 and it started going down.
Yeah.
So that tell me they knew that they were just trying to get them suckers to bet on the Spurs. I mean, because the line should have been going up after that devastating loss in Game 6. The line shouldn't have been going down because I think it finally went off like at 4.5 last night. It started out at 7 for 2 days, and I said they're trying to get people to bet on the Spurs. So if I didn't have to play golf today, I would have flew out to Vegas and bet everything I had on the Heat.
Like how much would you have bet?
Probably $250,000.
Do you get your money back right then after the game?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, of course you do.
Well, what do you do with it though? You put it in a hotel room?
You take it home and put it in your safe.
Oh, okay. I was wondering about the Game 6 emotion of what the Spurs do in Game 7, and they started off pretty well. There were times when I didn't understand Popovich's genius, and certainly at the end of Game 7, Charles, I got Tony Parker on the bench and Manu Ginobili handling the ball. That's playing right into the Heat's hand. Why would he have Parker on the bench in the final minute?
Well, I think you have to ask him that. I don't know that.
Well, he won't answer it. He didn't answer it.
Listen, the guy's won 4 championships. I don't question him, to be honest with you. I mean, seriously, the guy's won 4 championships.
Yeah, but Charles, I could question things Phil Jackson did. He won 11, you know.
But he's won 11 championships.
Yeah.
So I don't question. You know, hindsight is always 20/20. You know, that's like in Game 6. Everybody's like, Tim Duncan should have been in the game. I'm like, why should Tim Duncan be in the game? What 3-point shooter was he going to guard? He couldn't guard any 3-point shooter. He just got a couple of great bounces on rebounds. Tim Duncan couldn't have guarded any 3-point shooter. I think they just had a special play called, and it didn't work. You know, I don't.
Okay, but Charles, I can understand that logic. I disagree with it. I want my best players on the floor, but let's remove Game 6 from this and just Tony Parker's second best player in this finals. And you said the best point guard in the NBA, and you're on offense. Okay, why didn't you?
You know what? That's actually, I think, one decision. I think it's interesting. I think he wanted, in my opinion, I think probably wanted to take LeBron out to play because if you get a ball to Parker, LeBron's somewhere around. I think Pop had made up his mind he was going to get the ball to Duncan, who had a huge advantage against Chris Bosh in every situation. But I think if you put Tony Parker in the game, LeBron was going to be somewhere in the play. So I think he ran a play for Tim Duncan, and he just took Parker out the game. And so that was it, to be honest with you.
How much does that last shot haunt Tim Duncan?
I don't think that. I think Game 6 going to haunt the Spurs, to be honest with you. I told you, I'm impressed with them from a mental standpoint to be able to make it competitive, to be honest with you. But I think Game 6 going to haunt them more than Game 7 does.
Charles
Barkley. They blew that series, man, plain and simple, in Game 6. I didn't think there was no way they could win Game 7 in Miami.
Charles Barkley, NBA on TNT, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. And, you know, just watching this go back and forth and, you know, with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade now comes back and has a great game. I mean, they were evenly matched here. But I
think they're evenly matched. I think if you look at the last 2 series, you see all the flaws in the Miami Heat, but they have LeBron James. You know, I think Indiana had a better team overall, but you got to beat that guy 4 times. and I thought the Spurs had a better quote-unquote team. But think about it, Dan. This guy is 6'8", 260, and he guarded the best point guard in the NBA, and I think he wore him down.
Yeah, I've said
Tony Parker did not play well after. I think he only had one good game, to be honest with you. I mean, because even though game one we hit the miraculous shot, I don't think he had a good game. I think he had. I want to say game 4. I think was really the only good game, and that's what's amazing to me about LeBron James. To be able to guard a point guard. There's no Scottie Pippen is close as a defender, but he probably weighs 30 pounds less. That's what's remarkable to me. He did the same thing to Derrick Rose 2 years ago, and they won that series against the Bulls. But think about that. A guy who's 6'8", 260, 270 is able to guard a point guard.
Well,
that's remarkable to me.
That's why I said
Scottie Pippen's a wing guy, but we've never had a power forward basically able to guard a point guard. That's amazing.
That's why he should have been the defensive player of the year. That's why I said, maybe they want to share the wealth with awards, but Marc Gasol or LeBron James, it's not even close because you can guard one and everybody else.
Well, in fairness, now he don't guard the point guard the entire season. I mean, all those awards are debatable. You got Ibaka who could go in it. I mean, but just for a guy that big to be able to guard a point guard in every single game, basically, that's just the greatness of LeBron James.
Okay, LeBron goes from 1 title to 2 titles now. Does that change? Does that elevate him into a different category as far as greats of the game?
Well, he's always, in my opinion, he's already in the top 10. And he can't get any higher, in my opinion. I mean, my top 5 didn't ever going to change.
No matter what LeBron does, he'll never get into your top 5?
No.
Okay, give me your top 5.
Michael, Oscar Robertson, Wilt, Kareem, and the great Bill Russell. And I got LeBron and Kobe, Magic, Larry, and Jerry West. I mean, nobody can get it in my top 5, to be honest with you. I'm never going to. I mean, he's never going to be Michael Jordan. Oscar Robertson, I think, when you average a triple-double, that's on a whole nother level. But Wilt, Kareem, and Bill Russell, he can't get in there. Like I say, he's right there with him and Kobe. They're debatable depending on how many more championships LeBron wins, and Magic and Larry. And like I say, I put Jerry West in there also.
You know what? I think that Wilt was a freak, a phenomenon. Not a winner, but he was a freak. And
well, he was a winner. The problem he played against the Celtics team that had the Celtics. Probably, I mean, think about it. He lost to the Celtics. Well, and listen, I saw a stat where Jerry West was only like 1-8 in the finals.
Yeah.
And he's, to me, one of the 10 greatest players. Wilt just had, I don't even consider it a misfortune. Listen, there's no shame in losing to Bill Russell. And I mean, he lost to John Havlicek, Sam Jones, Heinsohn, all those guys. I mean, all those guys on the Celtics got like 7-8 championships. So there's no shame in losing to those guys.
But is LeBron a more complete player than Jordan?
Than Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
No way. What does he do better than Michael, other than rebound? Because
he's a better passer. He's a better passer.
He probably is a better passer. But he's not a better scorer. He's not a better shooter. And nobody's a better defender than Michael.
Mike could guard 1s and 2s and maybe 3s. LeBron can guard anybody on the floor, and if he blocks shots.
I don't know if he can guard 4s and 5s. I mean, listen. You just saw the Heat. They made Roy Hibbert look like Wilt Chamberlain, and Tim Duncan was killing them, and he's 77 years old. I mean,
yeah, but LeBron wasn't guarding Roy Hibbert. Could LeBron have guarded you?
No little guy can guard me.
He's not little. He's taller than you.
It doesn't matter. He's little to me. A guy 6'7", 6'8", little to me.
Wow.
Listen, you think me and Karl Malone would have been licking our chops to play against the little Miami Heat?
But then you have to guard him, too. How would you have done guarding LeBron?
I would have basically did what the Spurs did to him. You just make him shoot jumpers, and he's going to be an inconsistent jump shooter. I mean, I thought the Spurs had a great game plan. The Spurs should have, listen, the Spurs had a great game plan, and if they had made one more 2 free throws here or there,
yeah.
They would have won the series. I mean, I didn't think they could win last night at all. But the series played out. Listen, Game 7 is not going to haunt the Spurs. Game 6 going to haunt the Spurs forever.
Can I bring you back? Hey, can I take a break? I just want to ask you about this Clippers Doc Rivers thing and what you think of that deal. Can I do that?
Sure.
All right, we'll continue with Charles Barkley joining us from Philadelphia. Charles Barkley joining us. What do you think of that whole proposed deal that would bring Doc to the Clippers?
Well, I think it'd be a great deal for the Celtics, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I think with 2 number 1 picks, I think DeAndre Jordan got an upside. I don't know how. I'm not sure how much Kevin Garnett got left in the tank. And Doc's a good coach, but I think you can find good coaches. I think the Celtics are kind of getting free money, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but those draft picks aren't going to mean much, you know.
Yeah, what do you mean they don't mean anything?
Well, the better.
Tony Parker was a late draft pick. Manu Ginobili, 2 Hall of Famers, were late draft pick.
Okay.
If you know what draft. I mean, think about it. The Rookie of the Year last year wasn't the first 5 pick. I mean, if you know what you're doing. I mean, I don't agree with that.
Nah.
I think draft picks are very important if you know what you're doing.
Well, not many teams do. The Spurs do. Plus.
Yeah, but I think. Well, I know, but listen. I don't know how much Kevin Garnett got left in the tank. Did you watch the playoffs this year?
Yeah, but
let me rephrase it.
All right.
I don't think Kevin Garnett got anything left in the tank. I think Danny Ainge is going to get really lucky in this situation. He gets some draft picks. He get rid of Pierce and Garnett, who are old. I think it'd be a great trade for the Celtics.
But if I get Doc Rivers, there are none of these coaches that stay around.
Dude, listen, Doc Rivers is a good coach, but the Clippers don't have no good team.
He gives you instant credibility. They just got.
It ain't got nothing to do with credibility. The Miami Heat don't have credibility. They got LeBron James. This game is about players. Doc Rivers is a very good coach, but this game is about players. And if the Celtics can get rid of Garnett and Pierce, 2 guys who are past their prime, and start the rebuilding process, it'll be a great trade for the Celtics.
Is Chris Paul a great player?
Yes.
Is Blake Griffin?
Not even close.
Oh, that's right. You said he makes good commercials.
He makes great commercials. I think he should quit making commercials and start working on his damn game a little bit.
Chris Bosh didn't score last night, Charles. How does that happen?
Because the Miami Heat got LeBron James. That's why they got their second trophy.
Charles, can't you accidentally score? He scored the same number of points as I did last night.
Hey, man. The Miami Heat won because they had LeBron James. It ain't brain surgery. That's why you got all these idiots out there talking about analytics and crap like that. I know. You know, in Philadelphia, this guy, they want to do analytics. They better get some good players. Analytics always help when you got good players.
Would you have Chris Bosh back?
Well, I think they got to break that team up because you see now they just too little. I mean, they're too little. They're gonna shorten LeBron's career. They got to get some help at the point. I mean, he can't guard the point guard every single year because it's going to shorten his career. I mean, I don't think we've ever asked a great player to do as much as we asked LeBron James. As great as Michael Jordan was, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, we never asked them to be the best defender, get every rebound, get every big assist. I mean, it's amazing to me how great LeBron is, to be honest with you. I mean, think about that. First of all, Michael Jordan is the greatest ever. But we never asked him to guard a point guard for a 7-game series. The best point guard, too.
Well,
never asked him, you got to lead us in rebounding. I mean, think about that. And you have to lead us in assists.
But that's why LeBron's a better all-around player than Jordan.
But Michael has a different mentality.
Yes, I agree with that.
And that's why him and Kobe They just have a different mentality. LeBron's a better all-around player.
Okay.
But they have something that he don't have. I mean, they didn't play. Think about it. They didn't play against great teams to win the championship. They're not playing against great teams today. I mean, they just have him. You know, as a friend of mine, he think he knows basketball, and I tell him, I says, you got to beat that guy 4 times. I says, I picked Indiana to beat him, and they should have, and I picked the Spurs to beat him. I said, the problem is you got to beat that guy 4 times. I mean, and that's what's going to happen, because that team is very flawed. They're old and they're slow.
Is Bosch on the team next year?
I don't think so. I mean, because I think they got to look at they're getting older. They're not going to get any bigger, and unless they do something, LeBron's not going to stay there. Because I think he's small enough to know if he has to play like he plays right now, it's going to shorten his career.
All right, I'll leave you alone on your vacation, but I'm glad you joined us today.
No problem, my brother.
All right.
Fairways and greens. It ain't just a shirt.
Thank you, Charles.
All right, my brother.
Charles Barkley, NBA on TNT. Well, I got him to finally admit LeBron better all-around game than Jordan. God,